where TBR piles go to multiply. Hey there, book lovers, and welcome to Jeny and the Bets Talk Books. We're Jeny and Betsy, your literary enablers. Every month, we're diving into amazing reads, swapping recommendations, and basically giving you permission to add just one more book to that teetering stack on your nightstand.
Welcome to this episode of Jeny and the Bets Talk Books. This episode is going to be about Kindle Graveyard, all the books that you buy and leave on your Kindle or electronic reading device and then leave forever until you finally decide to pick them back up. I just wanted to say before we get going, if you do listen to the podcast and enjoy it, if you could leave us a review and also a comment, because that helps people decide if they will take a chance on us with the thousands and thousands of podcast episodes that already exist. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going. So how do you end up with things on your Kindle Graveyard, Jeny?
So I am part of Amazon First Reads. And so once a month, I get to pick one free Kindle book. And I've been doing it for a couple years. And so I have quite the backlog because it's not my first choice of how to read a book. It's using my phone or the Kindle app. But so yeah, every month I pick a free book and it's sitting on the Kindle app. So.
Okay. So the three that you brought today, are they all from that?
They are all from that. But in looking back just to see what else I had to choose from, I have a ton because I think I also followed some Facebook groups that used to tell you when they were $1 or books that were like $1.99. And so I'd buy them as backup for whenever I needed them. But I definitely need to get down on that list because I've got like 50 books on there.
Okay, well, that's where mine come from. So I guess I wanted to get a free book from Simon & Schuster one time. So I signed up for their emails and I get their emails. And once, probably every 2 weeks, maybe the algorithm pumps it up if I bought one, but they'll send you all the $1.99 reads. So I have bought probably like 20 to 25 off of there. And then sometimes I'll just get on a wild hair and download a book that I've heard people talking about if it's the right price. And then one of mine today was from the kids' Kindle when I used to download books for them to read for school. So
Okay.
that's where mine came from. Okay, and we don't know what the other one has picked, right? So, well, do you want to start?
Sure. I will start with the one I just finished. It's called Fatal Intrusion.
Ooh.
And it's by Jeffery Deaver and Isabella Maldonado. And it's definitely one of those police procedurals. You know from the beginning who is doing it. In fact, he's one of the narrators, but it's the like chase of the, can the police find him in time? And of course, there's a little bit of a twist and a little romance, of course. I used to read this kind of book. In fact, I used to read, I think, his books a lot. And I hadn't in a long time. And I was like, actually, I forgot that I liked the genre. So it's really good. His name is Spider because he has a tattoo of a spider. And he rolls a ball to lure his victims to look down and then, does terrible things. And it's a cybersecurity officer and then a police officer chasing him down. So.
And so when you describe the genre of police procedural, is that right?
I don't know. What else would you call it? Yeah, it's not it's not a mystery because you know who did it. You know who done it. It's not like a psychological thriller. Yeah, like in that vein of like the police, they already know, like the Prey books, like John Sanford writes a whole series. There's several J.A. Jance. I'm throwing out some
Okay,
names.
so that would be a
and
comp. What your book would be a comp to the Prey books, you think?
Yes, and to any of those, where you get that detective and you follow him through multiple books.
Okay. Is the Amazon First Look, is it new? So, but you said this is an author that you've read before. So the Amazon First Look is not necessarily new author. It could be an established author.
Yeah, no, it depends. There's like 6 or 7 choices. You just get only one of them free, but they might be new. I guess I didn't check the copyright.
No, I'm just curious because I wonder if it's a way to give more visibility to authors who aren't as established. I'm just curious, like how they get in it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a question for another
It
day.
was good.
No, that
It was
reminds
good.
me, I started watching yesterday because it's on the Netflix top 10, Striking Distance, which is an old cop movie with Bruce Willis and
Uh-huh.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Really? She's
Yeah,
in that
she's
kind of
his
movie?
love interest, and this is way before Sex in the City, right? But it's the way, like, he's upset his partner's a woman. I mean, like, it's very like
Yes.
early
Well, and of
90s.
course, in this one, the two working together have a history and they don't like each other because of their history, and now they have to work together to solve it. So yes, it's very, very much in a way.
Okay. All right. So would you say like thumbs up, thumbs down?
I would say I would call it a good solid read. I don't know that it's not 5 stars, but it's, 3.5,
Okay.
4. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Yeah.
entertaining. It entertained.
It was free to you, right?
Yeah, it was free, and it took up time in lines at the grocery store,
Yeah.
when I would open it and read.
Okay. Well, my first one is a book called The Life Intended by Kristin Harmel. Have you ever read anything by her?
I feel like I
The
have.
reason I think
Yeah.
you have is because after this book, I think she pivoted to historical fiction. So this was a book from 2014, and I bought it.
Okay.
It was a $1.99 read that I was scrolling across from that aforementioned email. The publisher's comp was P.S. I Love You meets Sliding Doors, and I feel like that's a good comp.
Okay.
So 12 years ago, Kate Waifman, her husband dies soon into their marriage. I'm not spoiling anything because I believe that happens in the first 10 pages. And then the book skips forward 10 years and she is trying to get on with her life and trying to do all of the things, but she starts having dreams about her husband. And what I liked about it is the dreams were not what I thought they would be. The dreams take on kind of make a left turn, and it leads her to do some things that were not what a typical rom-com person would do. It was set in New York City. I liked that. It was about 362 pages, so it was not a super short read, but not a super long one either. I actually gave this 5 stars. I think it's gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. I don't read a lot of rom-coms. I just thought it was really well done. I liked her family relationship. She has a sister, and then one of her other friends also lost her husband in 9/11. So it's kind of like back. That's kind of the setting. Maybe 10 years after that, but she bonds with her best friend because that person also lost their husband. So I liked the female friendships. I liked the romance because there is a new romance, and it's just kind of, I don't want to spoil that because it's kind of in left field how that came about. That was my first one. My second one, you're not going to like at all. So I'm not even gonna try to convince you. I'm just gonna talk about it. But this first one, I actually think you would like.
I just went and looked, and I've read several. I have not read that one, but she's like a usual, like a 4 or 5 star for me. In fact, her newest one, The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau, was one that I saw all over BookTok and everything, and I just read maybe a month ago.
Okay.
No, just lying. Maybe a year ago.
What this turned me on to, so she does a podcast called Friends in Fiction, a book podcast with
Oh, okay.
three other, like Mary Kay Andrews and two other
Oh, I
women.
love her.
Yeah, well, then you would love this podcast. And they interview authors. They interview a different author
Oh, cool.
every episode. And
Okay.
so once I found out I liked this book, I went and Googled her and found this podcast, and I've listened to a bunch of episodes just because it kind of talks about, it talks about books they liked, but it really does focus on an author per episode. So you can scroll through and see like who are the authors that you like and hear them talking to them. So I recommend that for you as well. I'll put that in the notes for anybody else, but it's a good podcast. And they started it during COVID when they couldn't get out and
Okay.
meet their readers. And so they stuck with it, and it's 5 years later.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What's your next one?
So my next one is Missing in Flight by Audrey Cole.
Okay. Tell me about it.
And she's on an airplane. She falls asleep with her young son in the bassinet as they're hurtling from, across the United States. I think it's like a New York to LA or LA to New York flight. I can't remember. And when she wakes up, the baby is not there.
Where are the children, Jeny? Where are the children?
And of course, you're trapped. You're in a room. Like, how is this? Where else can a baby go, right? But it's told multiple viewpoints because she's calling back to the husband, and memories and it jumps timelines and it's all the things. But very much like that claustrophobic, like she's on an airplane. Like what are you gonna do? And it was very good. It would definitely go. I know we've talked about like the suspending of your belief kind of books. If we ever do one on that, this would definitely have to go in that in the end. You do have to take a second and suspend all that you know and think and it how it turns out. But it was very good, very tense. I don't like to fly. I'm not a good flyer. I mean, I like to go places, but I just don't like the getting there. And so this one was a little like to me, like really like, oh, I'm claustrophobic. She's on a plane. Like, where did the baby
Yeah,
go?
because there's very few places on a plane where the baby could go. And tell me again, you told me, but tell me again the name of the book.
Missing in
Flight, because
not
that's one
Aubrey.
I may pick up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my next one, I'm laughing because it's not going to be your jam, but it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
What?
I think it may be like $1.99 right now if anybody's interested, but I loved it. And so I remember the movie, and I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. Well, maybe I am for people under 30 or 40, but like the campy movies, because it's like the giant pods come open and they replace the people. But the
Yes.
book is like, well, so it's written in 1955 by
Okay.
Jack Finney. It's short, which is one reason why I picked it, because the Life Intended was a little longer and I was trying to get my 3 in before we met. I want to say it's less than 200 pages, but he's really good at building suspense. And it felt scary in a way that the movies might not, with the giant pods following you around. And I wonder if he wrote this, I wonder if there's a political aspect with like the McCarthy hearings and that time,
Oh,
because like it's like
maybe.
your friends and neighbors aren't your friends and neighbors anymore. They're actually trying to replace you.
Very like Twilight.
If you like the Twilight Zone and you want a short read, this is it. It made me laugh because he talks about dial telephones being like the death of us, because there's no night operator anymore that knows where you are and can keep track of you. So that was pretty funny. I really liked it. Okay, what's your last one?
So my last one, obviously the genre that I seem to pick is kind of thriller police kind of thing because this one's called Deeper Than the Dead and it's by Debra Webb.
Okay.
And we have a disgraced police officer who has to go back home to her small Tennessee town because she has lost her job. And it's called because the remains of her stepmother have been found on the family property in kind of a cave. And, she starts to try to figure out what happened because, of course, eyes are on her dad, but her dad now has dementia. And then there's, sisters involved. And are they the people who did it? And then, of course, more bodies are found. So now we have a serial killer. And of course, the sheriff is her ex-boyfriend from high school. So I feel like it's very much like the first one. And now they're working together, but they don't like each other because they have history. But it was a great one. It was, what's happening, all the intrigue, very atmospheric with the setting of Tennessee, summer, hot, humid. You could just feel it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It was a good one. And I think this one is also part of a series. So the first one, Fatal Intrusion, I think is supposed to be kicking off a series, and same with this Deeper Than the Dead is like the police officer in this one is going to go on into other books as
Okay, well,
well.
I just wrote it down because you had me at Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. Do you remember, was it a fictional town or a real town?
Ooh, I didn't even look. I didn't even
Okay.
look. It's a very small town, and of course, small town politics come into
Yeah.
play, and some of it, you know how that all that kind of
It's
stuff.
giving me
So
some Megan Miranda vibes. Is that the author? Am I thinking the right author? Like, as you said, like, of course, the sheriff is like a love interest and all that good
yes,
stuff.
you can definitely tell it's setting it up to go on into other series parts too. But it was really good. It was another just solid, easy read. Nothing too,
I
you
think
know,
that's what summer is all about for me.
very much
Yeah.
summery, but not like overly romancy summery. More of like a keep you on your toes.
Don't get murdered.
Don't get murdered.
My last one, and I thought of you, and I picked this because I was also looking for another short book because I wanted to complete the trifecta. And I got on my kids' Kindle, and we had something in Texas. I guess maybe other schools have it too. It's like the Name That Book contest where you read books in the public school, and then anyway. So this was a Name That book from 2016, and it's called How to Avoid Extinction by Paul Acampora. Acampora, I'm gonna say. You're a children's librarian. Have you ever heard of?
I have not heard of that
Okay,
one,
I
but
think he's written two or three other books. I actually got on his Instagram and told him I read it because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it reminded me why I like children's literature. And how, but it's about children's literature is not necessarily like cotton candy, right? Like they're hard themes, and they deal with all the things that adult books deal with. It's just kind of the way they deal with it is sometimes a lot more charming. His grandmother and his cousin and he go on a road trip to I think Utah to see the allosaur, like an allosaur graveyard pit, like dinosaurs. And the grandfather's just died a year before, so they're missing him. I like a road trip book. We'll talk about one of my favorite books when we talk about what we've read so far, but I think I'm a solid in the yes camp for a road trip book and all the wacky hijinks and the people that you meet along the way. Like, I'm not sure that strangers would take you in and feed you and help you in the way that people do in these books, but they did in this book, and it made me feel good about humanity. So thank you, Paul. So that was my last Kindle one. And I have, how many do you think you have on your Kindle that you haven't read?
I mean, probably 30. I think there were like 50 on there, but it's hard to tell because some are like from Libby, and when it looks like you still have it and then you click on it, it's like not available anymore. So somehow I have like ones that I must have checked out from the library still on there. So when I was going through, it looks like I probably had more than, but I would say like 30. It is crazy how many I have on there.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I don't know if I need to get myself a Kindle. I'm going to do the summer reading club for Houston Public Library because the grand prize is a Kindle. So maybe I'll win and that'll be my sign.
I think you're gonna set myself. I'm trying to be reasonable about it, but I probably have 50 or more, and I think I'm gonna try like one a month. I mean, it still would take me years to do it, but I did 3 for this month, so I can do one a month.
It's just not my favorite way to do it, but I did the Deeper Than the Dead. I read during airplane travel, but I had it on my iPad and I remember thinking like this is the way to travel without heavy books in my bag. I can watch a movie on it and I can read a book on it like at
Yeah.
home.
Okay.
We want to talk about what we've read? I think since our last taping,
Okay,
I
let's
think
do
I've
that.
read.
But before we do that, I did want to tell you real quick, and I meant to tell you when you were talking about the plane and the baby. But
Yeah.
I was reading Time's list of top 100 mysteries, and Where Are the Children is on it. So I thought of you.
So from our last taping, I feel like, and this may be wrong because I went back and I remembered the book I was talking about because we did memoirs and I think I had just finished Charlie Sheen, right? So I'd gone just from kind of right in there, and I feel like I've read 16 books since we last
Okay,
talked.
what
But
are
that
some
feels
of it? Give me. Okay, we haven't really discussed how we're gonna do
on my
this.
5 4.
Yeah. Tell me your favorites.
Okay, so what happened, and this is probably why I read so many, is I went to the Texas Library Association
Of course, you
conference,
did.
and they give away free books like candy. And if you're lucky, you get some really good ones. And so I think I sent you a text because I walked up to one of the booths and we were talking, and I said, "How are you doing? Are you giving some away?" And they're like, "Yeah, any of the ones with a star on them or something." And I go, "Which one would you pick?" And she hands me the new Sarah Dessen. So I got my hands on the new Sarah Dessen.
Super grand.
Yes, I screamed. She got scared. It was, and then we laughed about it. But Sarah Dessen's Change of Plans, 5 stars. It's the typical Sarah Dessen formula. You know, something's going on. It's summer. She goes with the mom that she doesn't really know, meets the quirky characters at the cafe, all the things, boyfriend breaks up with her, new romance. It's just all the wonderful teen summer read that you want in your life. So it's great. So it's called Change of Plants. And I think it comes out, it might be out
I
now.
think it's out now, and it also has gotten great review. I think Kirkus gave it a star. I think Publishers Weekly gave it a star. It's getting good reviews.
It's like she's back. Classic
Okay.
Sarah Dessen.
And I know you're happy about
So I
that.
gave that one 5 stars. Another one that I gave 5 stars because I feel like I give 5 stars to all of hers is I got the new Katherine Center as well. So I got the
Oh
shippers.
yeah, tell me about that.
That one I got signed. So it's on a cruise ship and it's fake dating trope, one bed trope, put them all together and it's on a cruise ship, kind of thing. And she had started to write it before COVID. And then when COVID hit, she pivoted on these other novels that we've seen come out because she's like, no one's going on cruises anymore.
Especially
But
not
cruising
now with the coronavirus.
but she felt like she could put it out because cruising was kind of back. But it was really cute, there's um she was supposed to get married and doesn't, and then her sister of course is getting married 6 weeks later on a cruise, and it's the boy next door comes back to be at the wedding as well, and they fake date and all the things. Is really really cute, really cute.
Okay.
As she said in her talk, you will know how it's ending from the first page basically.
Well, that's comforting.
But that's the whole point. But how do we get there?
I have things to save in a fire. I think I have that on my TBR.
I love her. And then my last 5-star, this was not a TLA book, is Beth is Dead.
I've heard people talk about this. Tell me.
Baby Burnett. Oh, it is Little Women modernized and Beth is murdered. It was so good. If you're a super fan of Little Women like I am, the nods to the original, it was so good. And it was so well done. 5 stars for sure.
I have a question. I feel like you told me, did I make this up, that you don't like things that mess with tradition? Like there was some book that like open doored A Christmas Story and you didn't like that. So I feel like you're a purist, but you're not because you like this book.
You know what it is? I like it when it's well done because there are some retellings that I've really liked.
Okay.
So I just didn't like that. But this, Beth is Dead is so good. And it's a YA for sure, young adult. So it's a very quick read. It's got depth and breadth. It's got all the things, but it's just written just slightly in a way that you read it faster. I feel like I read YA a little bit.
Oh, and I like the cover. I like the cover with the bloody stuff coming down there. Okay. So you would say that those are your favorite reads?
Those were my favorite reads of the ones that I have read. Now we have read, I noticed because you put up some of your reads that we have read. Both of us have read a book at about the same time.
Ooh, tell me.
The Correspondent.
So I really loved it. And then I thought of your favorite book about the spice or about the letter writing. Like, how would you compare it to Faye was the last name? Anyway, what did you think about The Correspondent? Because it was a 5-star read for me. And then how would you compare it to your favorite book?
Well, The Correspondent, I think I really enjoyed it as well. But the other one was just sweet and like.
Remind me the name of the other one.
Love and
Saffron. Okay, so I'm sorry. So then how would you compare The Correspondent to Love and Saffron?
Well, I feel like in Love and Saffron, you liked both the people. You were just kind of following them in their journey. But I had a hard time with The Correspondent at first, kind of seeing where it was going. Like,
yes,
I'm supposed
it was it was a slow start. I will say that.
And I listened to it, so that might make it a slight difference.
Okay.
But I was like, where is this? Where is this going? And then, of course, I'm like, am I like this to my kids? I started bringing my own, like, am I going to accidentally do this? So I started thinking too much on it. But then, like, once we got into it and you started to learn more, and it was just nice. We read it for my book club, and we kind of talked about this. Like, she knows the reader's going to figure it out. She knows that she doesn't have to be like, and this is a letter to, this like you figure everything pieces together, and she let us figure it out. Like she doesn't try to force you to figure out all this stuff. But I will say, just don't listen to it driving on a freeway at all. How about that? Because I had a hysterical breakdown in one part, and I had to exit the freeway.
Oh, wait, because you were sad. But it wasn't a 5-star read for you.
I think I put it only because, at first it took a while to get into it. And I really was like, why does everyone like this book? And then I learned why. But I had to kind of take a star off, I guess. I don't know. Probably because I almost wrecked my car listening to it, too. I don't know.
Oh, well, I liked it because I could pick it up and put it down, right? Okay, was there any other one, looking at my list, that we jointly read?
Well, yes. So, but I think I'd already mentioned it in one of our podcasts because I was reading it for my book club, but The Road to Tender
Okay,
Hearts
so
is,
that is one of my favorites. When I was talking about a road trip book, it made me think of that.
it
That's one of
is,
my favorites of the quarter for sure.
it is so good. That one was really good. That was a 5 star for sure.
Yeah. It hits my wheelhouse. It's funny, but it's also a little bit dark and quirky, and it has a
Yeah.
lot of heart. Obviously, it's got stuff I don't condone, like these little elementary school people cursing up a storm.
Yeah.
But I like, and I also liked the, okay, so here's something interesting for you. It
Sure.
did have some mystical elements. And how did you deal with that? Like with the whole cat and stuff?
Well, I like magical
You
realism.
do. Okay. Okay.
I don't like science fiction.
I don't like the
Science, but I love practical. Like I've read all the Alice Hoffmans. I've read, so yeah, I like magical realism. In fact, that's what I'm currently reading is a magical
Okay, so
realism.
you're not a realist. You just do not like science fiction fakeness or
Yeah, or time travel.
time travel. The Time
I
Traveler's
don't.
Wife author, which you don't care about this, has a sequel coming out about their daughter. I just saw it on somebody else's Bookstagram, so I'm gonna add that to my list. You're not.
You can talk about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so let me see my favorites of the Compound, and that's the one that's the comp was Love Island meets Lord of the Flies.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's really good. It's maybe a twinge of sci-fi, but not really. I mean, it's set in the future, and it's like there's stuff happening outside the compound, and you don't really know what that is, but you know it's bad, and they don't necessarily allude to it all that much. But it is kind of futuristic in a way. Um,
Okay.
Correspondent, Road to Tender Hearts, To Kill a Mockingbird. My kid read that, so I read that
Oh,
along too, and I'd forgotten. I haven't read that since probably high school because I didn't read in
yeah.
college, and I'd forgotten how much I liked that. I do want to read like someone's commentary on it because it's obviously very of its time. Even like the best people in that book still don't behave the way you would want them
Right.
to today. But the part I liked about it
Yes.
was like the way in a small town, small southern town, everyone did care for everyone was in everybody's business. And a lot of time that was in a loving way, and then sometimes it wasn't. But it's the fact you had
Sure.
to deal with your neighbors, right? Because you couldn't get away from
Yep.
them. They were a part of your life. And today we're all in our silos and like we don't have to deal with each other, or we can do it behind a keyboard, but like the humanity in that everybody is all together. I really anyway, and it's also just yeah, Scout's dad and Scout and Dill. I love Dill. I've forgotten how much I like Dill. And
Oh,
all
I
their
know.
imaginary
You need,
games.
you need Truman Capote.
I want to read actually a commentary on this book, like kind of like somebody looking at it through the lens of time, and then also like yeah, because it was rumored that he helped her write it too, right? Like yeah.
Correct. He was the neighbor that came in the summer.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. I should have made that connection. Thank you, Jenny. Um, and then just to tell you, I finished the Peter Swanson series with the Lily Kittner. Neither one of them were 5 star reads for me, but I feel it like I'm a
Yeah.
completist with that story.
And I've read the first and the third. Somehow I missed the middle one. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay.
The Future Saints. That was one of my favorites, and I liked it better than Daisy Jones and the Six. And I liked Daisy Jones and the Six. This is a
Okay.
story about a dysfunctional band, all the substance abuse issues, but the crux of the relationship is between a woman and her sister. There's still a love story in it, but that's not the tortured part. The tortured part is this woman's relationship with her sibling. Um,
What was the name
it's
again?
called The
What
Future
was it again?
Saints. It's by Ashley Winstead,
Oh,
who actually lives in Houston. I've never
oh,
I'm a
yeah.
sucker for books right now about like fake bands. I got another one called Ursa Minor. So I can't remember. It's the same person that wrote Emma Blue, or is there's a book I think called Emma Blue that's like getting a lot of buzz, and it's that same author, her book that from a
Okay.
couple of years ago. Songs in Ursa Major, I think the name of it is. I haven't read it yet. Um,
Okay.
okay, and then Yesteryear. Okay. Did you say that your book club has picked this?
No, so it was book of the month for
Okay.
last month, so for April. And I looked at it and I said, I think because it kind of sounded time travel-y, I don't know. And I was like, that sounds terrible. And I did not pick it. And then it's gotten all the buzz and it's on every BookTok, TikTok, Instagram, Bookstagram. I mean, everyone's talking about it. So I do not have my hands on it. I'm going to try to get my hands on it.
So I am so conflicted. Like I gave it 5 stars. I'm also still not sure I love it, but I can't stop thinking about it. And it brings up so many things about our time and about the influencer culture and religion and gender, equality. And it's funny, I listened to somebody else talk about this on their podcast, and they were asking his religion is a big part of it, or this woman's skewed relationship with her faith. But they were like, it's Catholic. And I'm like, no, it's not. I was like, I think it's Mormon, but it's vague enough. Do you know what I'm saying? That it skewers everyone. I don't know how she feels about anything because nobody got off.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my hands on it through the library, or I don't know, maybe next book of the month it'll be one I can add on or something, but I will read it.
Okay, well, I can't wait to discuss it with you.
But the one I picked instead is the one I was telling you about, Molka, Molka, by Monica.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
And that was one about the hidden cameras in Korea, and it was dark. It was a dark and disturbing read. I won't say that it was a bad read. The language, the description of what they're watching when they have the hidden cameras in bathrooms and everything else. But it was very dark, and it's two people whose lives are kind of affected by it. And then it kind of comes to a head at the end with them crossing.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you said it was fiction?
It is fiction, but the author has a note at the beginning. I guess it is something that's going on in Korea right now. And it's kind of her statement piece, I guess, on how she feels about how it's being handled and what's going on. But it's these teeny tiny pin cameras, like you wouldn't even notice. And I guess right now there's no legal ramifications.
Well, that's uber disturbing. I agree.
It is. And it was, I mean, it's a good, it was well written, but it's a dark path. I will say that.
Yeah. Okay. And then I told you I read Her Last Breath, or listened to it, right?
Oh, I didn't. I think I knew that. Maybe that's the Taylor.
Yeah. Taylor Adams. So I really liked Her Last Word, and I know you say No Exit is the ultimate banger, and I am gonna listen to that or read that. Yeah.
Don't do it while you're driving.
Yeah, no, I'm not on a road trip. I'm looking at my phone. I gave it 3.25 stars. There was the way he foreshadowed the twists bothered me a little bit, and I don't want to say any more than that because it is a great. I mean, like it's twisting.
Be careful. That other book was about giving a book review, and then what happens when not. Be very careful on your book reviews.
I loved your book. Loved your book, Taylor Adams. Loved it.
All right. Are you reading anything right now?
So I also, another thing I have done is checked out a ton of books from the library, which are all now due. So I'd work best on a deadline. And so it's a book. What am I? Oh, shoot. One of them's nonfiction about the body farm in Tennessee where they study decomposition and like for law enforcement, and I guess maybe crime writers can go to. I've got that one, and then oh shoot, let me see if I can find the name of it. I would leave and go in the other room and get it. And then the Songs in Ursa Major is the one that I got from the library.
Well, I do want to say to our listeners that I listen to our podcast as well because I have read 3 books that Betsy recommended.
Tell me more. I want to know about that.
I finally, I listened to Educated on the drive up to Oklahoma to see my daughter. So I've done Educated now. So memoir, not just celebrity. I can do non-celebrities too. And it was fascinating to say the least. It was a lot. And then I think you were the one, Spectacular Things, the sisters.
I loved it. Did you love it?
I did like it. I would maybe I think 4 stars,
Okay.
But and then Wild Dark Shore. That was also my book club asterisk on that book club. But you put that.
I
as
know
one of
your feelings
favorites.
about this, and please, I feel like you have an unpopular opinion.
I didn't like it. Well, I read it and I wanted to know how it ended. I was invested in it. But it felt like another one of those, like, what was it? All the Colors of the Dark, where it was like, how many plot things are you going to put in this? And it was all at the end. So you're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? 52 different things have happened, you know, like The only thing we didn't have was dead dogs, but we did have some whales trying to beach themselves. So, you know, I just felt
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I think
like,
I just think it's interesting when there's a book that has, pretty near universal acclaim to hear people who don't like it, but I'm sure there are other people who it wasn't for them
yes.
as well.
And then it was like, I want, what's happening? I want to know. And then it just felt like she threw in anything and everything that could happen in the last few pages. And then I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just say I didn't like the
Yeah, no, I
ending.
didn't
So
like the
there's
ending
that.
either, but I still
Like,
like the
really?
book.
And then, so what I'm reading right now is The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer, and it's about, so it's magical realism, and it's about a third generation book witch who can jump into books to help save, the story if need be. But of course, she accidentally falls in love with a fictional character, and that's a no-no.
Oh.
Um, but she needs him because something happens terrible and she has to fix it, and she's going to have to go to him and he's going to have to help her, and um that's about as far as I am right
Did you
now.
read The Lost
But
Story? I have that on my TBR, and I think she's the author too. It was in a lot of people's top 10 lists, maybe not last year, but the year before, or some people's
maybe,
top 10 lists.
was it the one where they got invited to the island?
No, I feel like it's something about like a magic tree or something about kind of the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe vibe. I could be wrong on the author. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to look into that.
it could be her. I don't know if I've read her before, but the book jacket promises they're going to jump through like Camelot and Alice in Wonderland, so I'm very excited for it. But I'm not super far into
I
it,
can.
so stay tuned.
Okay, and I found the one I'm reading. It's called The Briars by Sarah Crouch, and
Okay.
it is. I'm going to read straight from the jacket. A lush and atmospheric novel of suspense following a young woman whose job as a game warden puts her in the path of a murderer in a small town eager to protect its own. Um,
Ooh, that sounds like the Kindle books I
yeah, yeah,
read.
yeah. So I'll let you know how that goes. And then
Okay.
I did see that Riley Sager is coming to Murder by the Book in August because he has a new book.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, if y'all are seeing this on YouTube and seeing our faces, we figured out how to do this with where Jeny doesn't have to come over to my house. But we've also talked about like the next couple of episodes. So I would like this summer to read the rest of him to be a Riley Sager completist because I have the one you gave
Okay.
me. I have this new book, and then I
Okay.
have maybe the one that's kind of, sort of historical.
Think
Which one?
I just finished the like very Agatha Christie-esque one.
I think that's the one you have given me middle of the night, and I'm looking at it. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
my dog just came back in. So I need to finish that first and I'll return to you. But I would like till August to finish those, and then
Oh,
I would like that to be
okay.
our August, what we do in August. All right. Anything else?
I don't I don't think so. I think that covers pretty much. I mean, I'm just looking forward to summer because I'm gonna read a lot more.
Yeah.
And also, y'all sign up for summer reading club.
All right.
For
All right. Well, that has been this episode of Jeny and the Betts Talk Books, and we will talk soon. Okay.
all right.
Bye.
Bye.